freak, bitch. Let me see about it. Welcome to the Habitual Lie Steppers podcast. I am Garrett Charles Langley Henson.
I'm Garrett. Wait a minute. No, I'm not. I'm Terry Carter, the Shades of the Second. What's up, baby? How's it going, man? How you doing?
I'm celebrating the life of an Atlanta legend today, Terry, which is why instead of going with our usual Frankie Beverly and Maze, we dropped the Unconfused, the last thing that Quavo and Offset put out, only built for platinum links before Offset was murdered last night over a dice game in a bowling alley.
Hold on. You got to reset. It's Takeoff.
Oh.
You got
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
You got to reset, bro.
I don't know. I think we should just go with it.
No. We can't fucking do that shit. Come on, man.
Hey, if Kyrie can get away with putting out misinformation, disinformation, I don't see why can't we.
Oh, God.
Man. Goody Mob passed away this morning. All right, let me take it again from the top.
No, go ahead. Takeoff, man. It's unfortunate as fuck, though. Your boy Takeoff's gone, man. It sucks. Takeoff, man. Best fucking rapper of the group, too, to me, bro. I've been saying that shit since whenever they came out, like 2014 or some shit, 2013, around that time.
You've been early on the Takeoff as the best.
He was a beast, bro. I like his flow. Honestly, because Offset was still in prison, I think, when they kind of first got big. So really, it was just like Quavo and Takeoff. And I was like, Quavo, I mean, he's got the vibes and shit, but like, if you listen to Takeoff's verses in every song, I was like, yo, this dude's got fucking bars. And especially like in the, what was that YFN Lucci fucking song? I could put this in with a bit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Key to the streets.
Yeah, Key to the Streets, bro. Fuck, bro, that Takeoff verse, when he got that little back and forth line, I was like, bro, this dude's a beast, bro. He's a fucking monster. It's unfortunate, man. You know what happened to him? You just like read about the story or whatever. It's all still kind of speculation. It's not confirmed as to what happened, but it's like a few things that they said.
What I read on TMZ is that he was at like a bowling alley type of joint in Houston, and he was playing dice with somebody at the bowling alley, and somebody pulled out a gun and shot him in the head.
Yeah, it sucks, man. And Quavo was with him. They said Quavo was with his ass.
Yeah, his uncle, for those of you who don't know, you know.
Yeah.
It's just terrible, man. It's a terrible day for Atlanta, you know. When they put out the album last week, I told T, I was like, you don't even need Offset. Like, I was just fine hearing this whole album with no Offset. I was like, Migos, they're going to be just fine. I was like, as long as they have Quavo and Takeoff, they're going to be all right. Yeah. And then this happens like a week later.
That's tough, man. So what, is Offset not on the Migos anymore?
Nah, they broke up.
Oh, shit. That's crazy. I thought Offset was good too, though, but man, it's just
but Offset was like, I don't know, the backbone, the structure was Quavo and Takeoff, like you said, because Offset was in prison, like, you know what I mean? When they were already blowing up, it was them. That was the sound. And then like Offset was like almost like a feature that you sprinkle on top.
Yeah.
And now that Offset left, you know, that album that they put out, I was like, this is probably their best shit since Culture. Like, really? Honestly. Yeah. I was like, this is probably the best shit they put out since Culture, and there's no Offset.
Damn.
So this is a shame, man. This is the end of the Migos for real. Like, there ain't no Quavo Takeoff collaboration that I really care to see like that. Like
Quavo Offset shit, yeah.
Or, yeah, excuse me. Like, Takeoff was the glue. He was the heart. Yeah, it's a rough day. And for rappers, Terry, I mean, it's like, this has got to be the most dangerous profession in America, being a rapper nowadays. It's like, we've had how many people die? 60. It's been 60 rappers that have been murdered since, when was it? In the last 35 years. 60
rappers murdered? God damn.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Of rappers who've died since then, 51.5% of their deaths have been attributed to murder. Mm-hmm. The average age of death for a rapper is between 25 and 30 years of age. Hip hop has a higher homicide rate than any other genre of music, ranging from 5 to 32 times higher.
Damn, son. I mean, hip-hop.
That's like the most dangerous job in America. Being especially if you're like a gangster rapper. Not if you're a rapper like Anderson .Paak or something like that. But if you out here in the streets talk about, I'll fuck your bitch, I'll take your money, I'll do whatever. You go to a fucking bowling alley and some guy wants to find out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's a black community thing. It's all the hip hop culture is just fucking it's fucked up, bro. I've been saying this for a long time. There's no need for, especially, and I don't even think like every single person that got murdered was really about that shit. You know, I remember when I was talking about the Tupac thing. Like Tupac definitely could have chosen a different life, and he kind of just went way fucking left. He ended up getting shot pretty much for no reason. Takeoff seems like he got shot for no reason. A lot of these guys get shot for just dumb shit. Like, y'all don't need fucking guns and shit all the fucking time. You don't need to be selling stuff. But unfortunately, that's all we got.
Well, wait a minute. Do they? Because when you're like, all your music is like, I'll come see me. Like, I'm the hardest one out here. I'll look at your bitch and she'll leave with me. It's like, you might need some guns. I don't know. It might be a good idea.
That shit's overblown because if you think about the biggest rappers right now, none of them talk about that shit. Like Kendrick is adjacent, but he might be the closest. J. Cole's not any of that shit at all. Neither is Drake. Neither is fucking Kanye. Jay-Z first started off with that. That was his first album. After that, it was pretty much, I talk about drugs, but I haven't touched that shit in years. You know, so yeah,
like you're not gonna catch Jay-Z playing dice with some nobody in the fucking parking lot of a bowling alley. You know what I mean,
bro? It's like once you get, if you're even close to touching 100,000, which some guys in the hood can get. How about I say this? If you're getting millions, that shit's done. Stop doing hood shit. You need to elevate your fucking life.
Yeah, but it's like. That's the bad part because everyone's like, oh, man, he done changed. He not the same person. He not one of us no more. And it's like, yeah, it's like every single person that goes back to the hood and reinvests in their community, it's like you end up like Nipsey Hussle. You end up like Takeoff. Like how you get rewarded for keeping it real and still like being hood and still being down and not leaving that world is these are the costs to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's facts.
Like you said, Jay-Z was like, you know what? I'm a mogul now. Like,
yeah, that shit's done, bro. Like this, everything is changing with the world now. But like this gun culture shit, I feel like we are kind of getting away from it in a way. But it's still kind of geared. Like the younger guys are still geared towards like being druggies. Like it's not like it's changing into something more positive. Like the top guys, yeah, they're different, but it seems like everybody else under them is only talking about drugs. Like Juice WRLD talked about fucking getting high all the time. Lil Uzi Vert, that's all he talks about. Like who the most popular motherfucker?
NBA Youngboy.
Yeah. Oh, that's all they talk about. Stupid shit. Like I don't listen to their fucking music. You know the shit that we listen to is like I'm a Mac with girls. That's my type of shit. I don't like fucking guns and shit. That shit's stupid. It brings you down. Pussy can bring you down too, but. Definitely like fucking around with guns and like drugs, talking about that shit. And especially like, I'm not going to say that necessarily he wasn't doing it, but it's like, you know, you're not in the trenches every single day. You probably made like $10 million in the past couple of years. You're not doing that shit. Like,
well, that didn't keep fucking Young Thug and whoever else was that dude who got arrested with him on the Rico shit in Atlanta for like actually dealing real drugs while they're still like have a major record label deal and are, I think it was Gunna. Like,
yeah, it was Gunna. It's idiotic, bro. It's just idiotic. It's just unfortunate that like it's a part of our community, but like. It kind of coincides with what we're going to talk about today. Unfortunately, it's not sports related today, but our community is fucked. You know, our identity got stripped when we moved here, and it still kind of got fucked over when we were, you know, here in the late 20s, 30s, 40s, even in all the 1900s. Black people got their shit fucked on all the time, probably until the 90s, maybe the 80s. You know, but
and now you got to live with the cuts of the double-edged sword, and especially like you know, as a rapper, because. Part of their allure, you know, for Takeoff and Offset and a lot of these guys is that, like, they're gangster. They're street. That, like, they have a masculinity and a toughness about them that they don't shy away from people who step to them. Like, that's part of their whole intrigue, their aura, like, what's made them successful at this point. So it's like, how do you stop doing that? and stop being that guy and stop, participating in those things and keep that mystique and still have people feel the same way about you. It's a difficult line to toe. And it's like, as soon as you stop fucking other dudes' girls and selling drugs and doing all this other shit, somebody's going to be like, hey man, you're not that guy anymore. Like, come see me.
Possibly. I just think like all that shit, unfortunately, to use this word, that shit is dead to me, bro. That shit's dead as fuck. Because the blueprint is to make $100 million, and you're not gonna make $100 million talking about guns and drugs. Like, you can't consistently keep doing that. You can't just stay in that life and then make a lot of fucking money.
I think the only people who can go back to the hood like consistently and be embraced by the hood are people who didn't become like mainstream superstars in their own right. Mm-hmm. Like Boosie can go to any hood anytime, and I feel like he's going to be fine. But you're not like the parents from my soccer team would not recognize Boosie if he was in the parking lot or at Walmart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you're a guy like that, it's like you can walk around almost knowing like they gonna protect you because you one of us. Like, you were always hood to a degree. You never left the hood, like, and you still embody this type of shit. But for some of these other guys, like, they're out doing fashion deals in Milan. They're out on reality TV shows. Like, you're in the mainstream culture, part of like Hollywood, going to the Met Gala and shit. It's like to a lot of people, it's like, you're not one of us no more, And then when you try to come back and act like you are, you see some of these type of things. It's unfortunate. Yeah. It's like you can't win either way. No. Either you don't do new stuff, and people are like, "Oh, this guy's stupid. He keeps putting himself at risk," saying all the things that I'm saying. Like, if you want to make it, you can't keep doing it. But as soon as you stop doing it, people are like, "Oh, he changed up. He ain't the same. I miss the old Kanye. I liked his music in the beginning, but not anymore." Like,
yeah. Hey, man, I told you, bro, that shit's dead as fuck. The hood, it's a mentality. It's a mindset. I'll tell you this. All these hood motherfuckers, they ain't buying your shit. I can tell you that. They're not buying none of your shit. They fuck with you, but they don't fuck with you. Because when you come back, they're like, "Oh, you left." They don't give a fuck about you. They don't buy anything anyways. They don't go to concerts. They go to the small-ass fucking hood concerts. If you go there, when you first coming up, that's cool. You can make a cool $10,000. If you want to get rich, you got to reach out. Go to another platform, bro. You got to go to another audience. Like, you have to change up. It is what it is. Like, if you even like Lil Wayne in like his content and shit, that motherfucker, you go to his concerts, there's nothing but white people that go to that shit. Black and hood motherfuckers don't go to that shit no more. But like, to me,
but go to a Gilly the Kid concert.
I just think that like it's easy for me to say, but I just think that the whole hood and like being hard mentality that black people kind of have, that shit has to be gone in order for us to kind of advance as people. And we can't just think that like there's only a few ways like out. It's gonna take people that like have a bunch of money to kind of educate you on that type of shit, but
yeah,
gotta change, bro. The mentality.
Listen, man, it's not just like the mentality getting out. It's like one vision of masculinity and like one way that you can be venerated and like the cultural values are venerated over time. And that's like being emotionally distant, manipulative, hard, like unpushable, unflappable, stoic. You know what I mean? Yeah. And there's one definition and one pathway of success that you see in the media and that you see like over and over again in cycles. And so hopefully with time and us being a more global society and the internet and people being able to be exposed to things that aren't just in their neighborhood, like we'll be able to find more validating paths towards like being a man, other than feel like I have to be the hardest guy out here to feel like a man. I have to accept every challenge to feel like a man. Like I have to fight to keep track of every girl to be a man. It's like, if my girl wants to go fuck this other dude, go do it. Beat it, bitch. Like, I'll see you. Like, I'm not going to get shot in a parking lot. Not that I'm saying that's what happened, but it's like there's a lot of stupid shit that adds up to like you just not being like, you know what? You got this one. I'm going to leave.
Yeah. But it's everybody. You are right though. It is a form of like masculinity, especially with the guys. But I'm specifically like the black community. Motherfuckers, stop shooting each other, bro. Like, just talk that shit out sometimes, bro. I feel like it's unfortunate though, because like it's an era of where like in Chicago they had this problem where it's like they locked up so many of our dads and shit with drug charges and that type of stuff. So like you kind of grow up with no male like father figure in your life, and then once you're out on the streets, there's still no one telling you what to do, like giving you guidance. And then like even if the dudes come back from jail, you're just like, well, you're a fucking deadbeat. You ain't got no money. I'm out here in the streets making this money. Fuck out of here. It's just a cycle, man. You know, fathers be fathers. Stop fucking around. Just we need some more male positive like influences in our lives, bro. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, I saw a parade of these black dudes in Charlotte who were like having literally like a fucking parade on the side of this street, Freedom Drive. About 10 of these black dudes out here, all wearing matching T-shirts like they're going to a cookout. Yeah. And all of them are talking about, I'm a black father who stepped up and parents my kids. Like real black fathers. I was like, why are we having a parade? It reminded me of the Chris Rock joint. It's like, you can brag. It's like, I take care of my kids. That's what you're supposed to do, you dumb motherfucker. Like, we're having a parade at a stoplight for this. We got matching T-shirts to say I'm around. That's where stuff's at, man. And it's a sad state to see.
That's what it is. You know, that's what it is. It's not like it's changed. It's probably getting worse. I mean, I don't know if it's getting worse, but like, divorce is a motherfucker. So it's like, if I'm divorced, shit's split. It doesn't matter. It don't even matter if I'm middle class. It don't matter if I'm rich. It still seems like black dudes ain't got no fucking fathers. Now, it's a different scenario for me. Like, I grew up with a lot of black people, so I can understand, like, there was a decent amount of my friends that didn't have dads. Like, I get it. But then there's also, like...
Yeah. Myself excluded.
Nah, but the divorce rate, too, kind of fucks it up, too. So it's like, even if you do have, like, middle-class friends, even if you have lower class, upper class, doesn't matter. Like, they, for some reason, like, my black friends did not have any fucking dads. Like, you're excluded. You know, you're white. Your situation is different. I'm not going to put your air out, like, out here on the streets. You're going to know our story later, you know, after, you know, we meet up and shit, but...
My dad is black. He just doesn't know it.
I don't know. It's just fucked, man. I think it just needs to be more love and less fucking hate. And you're right, less bravado and shit. This shit's stupid. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't be fighting black people when I go out because I ain't trying to get shot. That's the fucking stereotype that we have.
Yeah, man. Dude,
I'm like, chill, bro. I'm out.
You ever like look back at some of the shit that we did like 10 years ago and stuff and just be like, I don't do any of that shit anymore. We were so reckless. You remember the joint in Raleigh where Kevin slapped that girl's ass and then they fought outside of the parking lot with like fucking 15 people. And then you had to pretend that you had the heater, the fake heater in the glove box so we could get out of there.
Yeah, that was a wild ass night. I mean, it'd be like that though. You can, I don't know, man.
But I be thinking back on the same shit that we did, like with my old eyes now. You know what I mean? Talking about how I talk about Takeoff and the shit that I would say to myself. And it's like all the unnecessary risks that we just took all the time because like didn't know no better, didn't care, didn't have enough to lose, didn't have enough perspective, whatever.
You feel invincible sometimes. But nobody is when somebody's got a gun.
Yeah, until I choke your ass out in a fucking alleyway.
Gun violence.
Wake up, squeal like a pig.
Gun violence is like a different type of story, though, man. I just feel it's just too many motherfuckers be having gats for no fucking reason. Like, especially in Raleigh, we had that mass shooting. We're just a different fucking story, but it's just like the ability for Takeoff to just get shot in a bowling alley. That's just too fucking. Man, we gotta have more than that,
bro. And then it's like, do we have to have fucking like security? You know, like metal detectors everywhere we go now. Like, is that where shit is going? It's like I gotta walk through a metal detector, go to McDonald's.
Nah, that's the thing though. Like, you don't want that shit, but shit's getting stupid, especially in like these places where these rappers are just getting shot for no reason. The Nipsey Hussle one is the worst one for me. That one was fucked up because Nipsey was actually doing positive shit for the hood. It seemed like, you know, you never fucking know, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, like when you go out and step out into the world. You just hope that everybody's on good behavior. That's all you can hope. That's what the world is. You can step out and somebody can shoot the fuck out of you. That's America. Is it not? You know, you can get shot the fuck up anywhere. The mass shooting in Raleigh, I'm not gonna say only 5 people died, which fucking sucks. I drive by that shit sometimes. It's not too far from me, but it's decently far enough where I was just like, oh, okay, we're good. It was a nice ass neighborhood, bro. It was a fucking golf course neighborhood. And like, if you can just get shot up at the grocery store, if you can get shot up in a neighborhood where you think you're safe, where it's like pretty much like a gated community, you ain't safe nowhere. You ain't safe nowhere.
And sometimes it's definitely like that, but where it's like wrong place, wrong time, like what were you going to do anyway? And then there are other times where I feel like it's important to reflect and be like, what was my part in this? Like, what could I have changed to do to make this be different? And the biggest thing is checking your fucking ego at the doorstep, dude. That pride is what would get you killed, man. And and like you have to realize the more that you have, the more that you have to lose, and the more that you have, the more other people want to take from you. And so, in some way, this kind of relates to the Kyrie Irving thing, where it's like we see a person who's not afraid to lose what he has, who's like, I'm not going to be a slave to Hollywood or a slave to the NBA or a slave to whoever gave me all this money and this platform, and they're going to act like, hey, if you don't act right, we'll take it away from you in a second. Mm-hmm. You know, at the same time, like, you got to realize this platform is real. This money is real. Everything that you built could be snatched away with one misstep, with one case of pride, whether it's standing up to somebody in a parking lot or it's refusing to apologize after you tweet out anti-Semitic propaganda.
No, that's facts. That's facts. I don't know. I just feel like I should be able to punch you in the face and not worry about getting shot. But, you know, that's the world that we live in.
Yeah.
You can't just be an asshole. But then also I can't retaliate. It's just like, hey, man, we need some guidance out here, bro. We need some fucking guidance. I don't know what's going on. But, yeah, Kyrie, you want to move on to Kyrie, man?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean,
I don't have this huge problem with Kyrie.
So tell people what he did. Like, what? Tell people about why everyone's talking about Kyrie this week.
So basically, your boy Kyrie Irving, like, he on his Twitter, he like promoted something that Alex Jones. He retweeted something on Twitter that Alex Jones had put up, and it was like a anti-Semitic book or an anti-Semitic movie that related to a book that was like super anti-Semitic, but for something like it was a specific quote too that has been debunked or whatever the fuck, but who the fuck knows? Social media is just like a bunch of bullshit. And basically, he said, like, in a post-game conference, one of the fucking journalists, he asked him a question about it. He was like, why did you post this? And then Kyrie answered the question. He was like, I just posted it because, you know, I feel like people should get that information out there. And then he was like, I discondone anything that Alex Jones has ever did with Sandy Hook and all that type of shit and blah, 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 blah. And everybody's giving this backlash to the reporter and to Kyrie. And it's just like, this is what I love about humans, though, bro. It's like, this dude can press Kyrie on it, and then some people will be like, I think Kyrie's 100% right. And then some people are like, this journalist is a bitch. I don't like this guy at all. And then some people are like, I like this journalist for pressing Kyrie on some shit he shouldn't have promoted. And then other people are like, nah, Kyrie definitely should promote this shit. Like, we don't like Jews. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, how do y'all grow up? And it's just so much misinformation. Like, social media was not supposed to be this place where you could literally look up anything and get an answer to your question, and you don't know if it's right or wrong. And there's no citations for it. It's just fucking, it's crazy. And it's just crazy to me that, like, you have these conversations with people and they're just completely fucking lost, bro. Like, they're just lost. And their answer is completely wrong, but they don't care. They think they're right 100%. And you can't change their mind. And living in a world like this,
like you're saying, it's like you can go out and find, why would I change my mind when I can go out and find a bunch of misinformation that supports exactly what I'm saying? Why would I change my mind when I can go to any outlet and get all of my views reconfirmed and reaffirmed by a bunch of nonsense? It's like, why would I even open my mind? But for me, it's like this, there's so many different layers to this Kyrie thing. I think what you alluded to, you know, is the reason that people are so upset about it. It's so hard to find what's real information, what's misinformation, what's disinformation, what's badly reported, what's accurately sourced. what's been academically vetted, etc. And knowing that you have a platform to intentionally put out disinformation is what I think a lot of people have this problem with, because it's like your impact from spreading this will like heighten the fire, and with already so much lies, faulty stuff, unreliable things on the internet, it's like, why would you do this on purpose?
Yeah.
But Kyrie, he didn't answer the questions. Like he said, he said, I don't support everything Alex Jones said. I don't support the trauma that he caused the children in Sandy Hill, but the secret societies that he talked about were real. He was like, that's true.
And no one took that bait at all. They're like, who cares? Talk about the Jews.
So then the movie that he tweets out, it's like a Black Israelites propaganda film that's on Amazon.
Yeah.
And, it's full of all types of crazy conspiracy shit, things that have been actually debunked, things that scholars have debunked. And it's like one of those things that's not academic, but is like presented in an academic type of way so that people like give it credibility. Like, the documentary they had on Netflix about the NBA referee who was cheating.
Yeah.
And the whole documentary is like from his side of the story, like, he may have not really done it. Like, no, we have tons and tons of evidence that he did it. The FBI said he did it. They have video records of him doing it. Like, there's no he said and she said and the Bible is a lot of misinformation in it too. It's like, no. That's a separate question, dude.
These documentaries are dangerous.
Yeah, there is. And the thing that it creates is like a situation where people are like, well, there's no actual facts. The winners write the story every time. And what's the difference between what Kyrie Irving's putting out versus the stuff that they teach us in schools? There are always varying different degrees of misinformation written by the victors.
Yeah.
That being said, getting your news from like the Proud Boys, an equivalent group of this, is not like getting your news from CNN. And there are varying degrees of credibility, verifiability, and fact that come from different places. And the fact that he like treats this, I mean, this basically is like the fucking Hitler shit that he was showing some of the like black people are worth less than all the other stuff before the Olympics. This is a different version of it. And so don't treat it like it's gospel. Don't treat it like it's something to be revered. At the same time, are we going back through the tweets of every single NBA player and we're going to cross-examine each NBA player's personal and religious beliefs? Like, Enos Cancer is Muslim. Devout. He's devout. Devout Muslim people don't believe in homosexuality. They believe it's like a crime against God. Like, there's been quite a few people, I'm sure, in the NBA who've had really unsavory beliefs, opinions, whatever, that they've espoused into the public space. The owner of the team doesn't have to go out there and submit a press release saying, when Charles Barkley was saying all types of crazy shit, throwing men through windows in the 80s and 90s, like the owner of the Sixers was putting out press releases every week. I absolutely condemn what Barkley said to the media today, and his views do not represent those in the organization, nor are we tolerant of those who spread hate. Like, let's all take a minute. This is a basketball player who said the world was flat 2 years ago.
That's facts on that.
Who's contributed money to Kanye West's school where they almost certainly teach children that the world is flat. And this is the dangerous misinformation that you're concerned about? Like, this is the tipping point?
I don't think this is the tipping point. I just think people have had enough. I think that's what happened. I like the reporter, bro. I can't remember his name. Who is that guy?
Friedel. I think it was Nick Friedel.
I like his information most of the time. And I just think that he was just like, you know what? What the fuck, bro? What is this? I think that's pretty much what happened. Like, I think he was going to ask a basketball question, and then he was like, you know what? Man, fuck it. I'm going to press him on this shit today. because I just did not like where you like spread out there, and it's just like
it was so weak. Kyrie shit too. He's like, I'm not promoting it. How am I promoting it? He's like, you tweet out things, are you promoting them? He's like, yeah, like literally. That's what tweeting out to 1 million something people like, hey, I don't know if you heard about this documentary, but you should check it out. That's promoting it.
Yeah, I mean, he promoted it. At this point, though, it's just like people, man, everybody's getting brainwashed, bro. Like the internet was not supposed to be this thing where, like I said before, you just can't find anything to prove that you're right. Like there's science. We learned it in school. Like the earth is not flat. Like people just believe anything. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like it's just hard to exist in this world where I can have a conversation with somebody and then they'll just show me something. Like, you know, like the bar debates we used to have back in the day. But like now you can just look up the stat and you're just like, oh, all right, cool. And then you don't even like what the fuck are we doing? Like people are just like, no, look, and they'll show you like 18 things that are right, and then you show them like 18 other things that are wrong. And we're just at an impasse, and I don't even know what to do these days, bro. It's crazy.
You gotta take things with a grain of salt, dude. Like, is anything probably 100% facts? Like, only records of history are facts. Everything else that you like, even you said, you know, they taught us in school, but they teach us a lot of shit in school that like didn't go down like that.
But you know what I mean? Fucking science books and shit, like from accredited scientists and shit. Like, come on, bro.
No. I feel you. And so Kyrie is like, you know, I learned stuff in books in school that weren't true. You know, how is this so different, a book full of stuff that may not be true compared to what they taught in schools?
Yeah.
And the difference is the degree. Like, there's a lot of other true stuff in the books we've read in school. Yeah. Nothing is going to be 100% true in this world. But you can't put out something that's 99% false and then be like, I mean, it's basically the same thing as a textbook.
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like there is
one of them has 1% falsities, the other one is 1% truth. And you're like, well, both of them have some truth. They have some false things in there. It's really just a matter of perspective. It's not.
Yeah. But here's my thing on that, though. It's just like one day, you know, and it's people that do this shit already, but like, you know, like 1 + 1 is 2, right? And then motherfuckers will be like, well, what is a number actually, though? You know? And then you're just like, all right, if you're talking about that, then I don't know. Like, what page are we on right now? I don't understand what's going on. We can have a conversation. And sometimes when I'm in the streets, like, you know, just we're out watching a game or like just having a good time, I can even have conversations with certain people. They're just like so absolute to the fact that they're right. You're just like, dog, I didn't even want to talk to you. You're just fucking talking at me at this point. And if you can't hear me, it's no longer a conversation. You're just texting me in person. You're talking at me. That's not cool. Like, if people can't converse anymore, I don't know where we're at, bro. People are just fucking lost, man.
Listen, man, if you can't have a conversation, shut the fuck up and listen to our podcast. It'll help.
Facts. Shout out to the subscribers. 1,100 of y'all boys. Girls, too. Who knows? Or they.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Don't forget the thems.
Hell yeah. But yeah, man, I don't know.
We got theys, thems, guys, girls. We may have some aliens tuning in.
At this point, though, is Kyrie worth the headache? He's not even good this year.
No, he wasn't. He hasn't been since he played on the Cavaliers. The Celtics found out he wasn't worth the headache. He said, I'll come back if you'll have me. Then changed his mind fucking 45 days later. Played the Celtics' best success was when he was on the bench and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were rookies taking to the fucking conference finals. Hey. Then he goes to the Nets, puts up a dud in every single fucking postseason. Nothing but trouble. Out here talking about flat earth, fake vaccines, and now Jewish secret societies that suppress black people. Bro. He hasn't been worth the trouble since he hit the shot, Terry. That was the last moment that he was worth the trouble.
That was the last moment you thought he was a good defender. Oh, wait. No. You said that like the last year. But hey, Elon, you got to cut him off Twitter. He's got to go. That motherfucker's lost. And you can't have anybody on Twitter that's lost because they'll just retweet and tweet anything. He's got to go. I fuck with him. I think he doesn't have like a bad bone in his body. I don't think he means unwell. I think he loves every single person in every single religion, all that type of shit. I think he's that type of dude, but you just fucked up and you doubled down. You pulled a Terry. You pulled a me. When I fuck up, I'm just like, I ain't fuck up. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. But sometimes you just gotta be like, look, my bad. I screwed up and I apologize. And keep it moving.
I agree. And the one thing that we've always known about Kyrie Irving is that he's always been the first one to take responsibility and apologize. And all of his teammates have described him, like you said, loving. Oh, wait. No one's ever described Kyrie as being a good teammate under any circumstances. Not a single player that he's played with.
He was a bad teammate?
Yeah, they traded him for Isaiah Thomas. Who had a broken back. LeBron is like, I'd rather have a midget who can't jump than deal with this guy for one more year.
LeBron didn't say he was a bad teammate, though. Like, I think it is hard, though, to specifically have one person be like, nah, this dude was a horrible teammate. Yeah, I don't
it's got to be someone who's out of the league who doesn't have to worry about, like, you know what I mean?
No, but LeBron said he loved Kyrie. He said he loved him. He'd take him with the Lakers. I mean, I know their situation's dire as fuck, but he was like, I'd take Kyrie back. He would have taken him back with the Cavs, too. And Tatum said the same shit. He was like, look, I love Kyrie, but it just didn't work out. He didn't say he was a bad teammate. He said he was a great fucking teammate. It just didn't work out on the court.
How much happier are you now that you guys got Jalen Brunson instead of Kyrie?
Nah, I would have loved Kyrie on the Knicks. Are you kidding? This one is bigger. Brooklyn is just an ugly stepchild that's over there crying in the corner. If he would have said this shit on the Knicks, come on now. This would have been world news. Now, at this point, it's just Kanye is the number one.
Is James Dolan Jewish?
No.
Okay. I was like, you better hope not. I was like, you know what he does to motherfuckers who say one bad thing about him?
No, that's facts. I don't know anything about him, though. I don't care.
James Dolan paid to have bots and, like, cybersecurity put on to monitor people's text messages and tweets who are in Madison Square Garden. You don't think he would be monitoring Kyrie's Twitter?
It don't matter. Kyrie can get monitored. Kyrie is the type of dude where, like...
Kyrie wants to be the hall monitor. That's what the problem is.
Pretty much. I think Kyrie would have benefited to going to the Spurs. I feel like he would have benefited a lot playing with Pop. That would have been, like, ideal scenario. But here we are. He plays in fucking Brooklyn, and Steve Nash is his head coach, and Steve Marks is the GM. Nobody can control him, and KD is supposed to be his leader. Are you kidding? Of course he was. This is a recipe for disaster. None of those guys have any authority over Kyrie Irving.
I think Kyrie would have benefited from playing with Larry Brown. That's what I think.
Oh shit!
But wait, to your last point, man, you're like, I think he's a nice guy who genuinely loves everybody and he wants the best. I don't believe that. I think he's smart. I think he's a smart, independent guy who it's very important to him to seem smart. That's what I think. I think Kyrie Irving's autonomy and his intelligence is more important to him than any relationship with his teammates, any production that he does on the court. His ability to stand alone from everybody else is the most important thing to Kyrie Irving.
Hey, and he's done it. He's definitely done that. But I will say this.
Yeah, and now he's standing on the edge of the world looking out into the abyss off the side of the fucking...
The only thing I'll say is this, bro. I like Kyrie Irving. I'm not saying I don't like him. He's out there. He's weird. But there's no evidence to me to say that he's smart. Now, he's a little eloquent in the way that he speaks, but it's not, like, clear, though. You know what I'm saying? What he's saying is never, like, clear and to a point. There's no point to what he says. It's always like, am I Kyrie Irving? You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that's like a fact. Everything he says is just a bunch of bullshit. And there's no evidence to say that he's smart. I don't know. I just don't know about this kid. He's out there, bro. He's fucking out there, man.
You say that you're laying down instead of lying down because when you're actually lying, it's your mind lying to yourself via dreams, deluding yourself that you're living in an alternate reality. So that's why we lay our bodies down. I lay the ball up off the glass. Kyrie Irving.
That's why he's so fucking ambidextrous. He can't choose which hand he wants to use. Jesus Christ.
Kyrie's going to write a book when he retires with two hands simultaneously.
Oh.
Yeah, and one of the pages is going to be in Arabic.
Shout out to Kyrie, man. You're a kook. I fuck with you though, but you sometimes you're just too much, bro.
Rough weekend for Kyrie. Great weekend for my Atlanta Falcons. We did our best to lose the game against the Carolina Panthers over the last 7 minutes. I mean, we tried 7 or 8 times to give the game to them, but they just refused to win. Came out of here after a missed fucking extra point, then a missed field goal in overtime. We kick a field goal on 3rd down. We don't even give a fuck. We're like, we're not going to be like you guys. If we miss this kick, we're kicking it on 3rd and 12. If we miss this, we're kicking it again on 4th and 12. Like, what's up?
I feel like, isn't that what they used to do back in the day? Why does everybody wait until 4th down? What if you fuck up the snap? Like, they used to do that shit on 3rd down. If they fuck the snap up, like, oh, sit on it. We'll kick it again. I don't understand it.
Now we're the only team that does that shit. I love it.
It's smart. It's smart to me. I get it. Because let me tell you this. From someone who's played Madden at a less competitive level these days, I can count. I've done it 5 times where I'm about to kick a game winner and they muff the fucking snap. And I'm just like, why is that even in the fucking game? Why can you muff a kick snap? Like, that's fucking ridiculous.
Tony Romo was one of the developers.
But yeah, man, the Panthers, bro, that shit. What's more? What do you even want? What do we want to talk about this? Like, did DJ Moore fuck this up? We know it's Eddie Panero's fault. Like, dude missed a 48-yarder in a dome, and then he missed a 33-yarder in a dome. No weather. I get it, but DJ Moore did fuck up as well. But I will also say this. I don't understand why I can't take my helmet off if I catch a fucking 64-yard Hail Mary that you shouldn't have gave up at the end of the game. I can't take my helmet off. That's some bullshit. I should be able to take my helmet off and jump to the crowd.
He can. He is allowed to take his helmet off. That's not what he was flagged for taking his helmet off and jumping in the crowd. He was flagged for returning into the end zone after he took his helmet off during his celebration. He took his helmet off, he jumped into the crowd, then he came back through the end zone with his helmet on. The field of play.
I thought it was the helmet shit. I thought you just can't take your helmet off.
No, you can't take your helmet off if you're on the field. Or on
the field.
Huh?
He took it off on the field, and he jumped in the crowd.
No, he took it out. They don't count only the field of play, right? So as soon as you step outside the end zone, it's like he's not on the field of play. Where he took his helmet off was fine. Outside of the end zone, outside of the field of play. That's in the rules. Where he fucked up is it says you cannot take your helmet off in an end zone celebration and return to the field of play. So he took his helmet off, jumped in the joint, walked back on the end zone. They're like, if he had just stayed in the crowd, they would have won. If he had never come back down from the crowd and had sat the rest of the game there, they would have won.
Just go to Atlanta. Just live there. Son, it's man. I don't blame him, bro. I really don't blame him. Because at this point, he's probably like the best player on the team. So like it is what it is. Yo, shout out to PJ Walker though, bro. That was an impressive ass fucking throw. But Atlanta, I mean, I couldn't believe it, bro. I just could not believe that shit even happened. Like what was the score when I was watching the game? I turned the game on and the Panthers were down. They lost. Didn't they lose? They didn't score in the first position. Y'all got the ball back, right?
I missed the first half. I was coaching. I came in at the third quarter.
I'm thinking about the end of the game. How did the Panthers get the ball back again?
They fucking scored. Then we scored with like barely any time left. We scored with, 25 seconds left in the game. And they had to go and get a touchdown. We were up 6. We kicked a field goal.
Didn't lose the ball or anything? I feel like y'all lost the
No.
ball. Shit.
No, we kicked a field goal to make the gap up 6 with 25 seconds left. So now we're like, they got to go the length of the field and throw a Hail Mary to even win. They can't kick a field goal. Then we let them do it and get behind all 4 of our safeties for the Hail Mary. And he catches what should have been the game-winning touchdown with 11 seconds left. But then he takes off his helmet and comes back, gets the 25 or the 15-yard penalty, backs up the extra point try, and as they say, the rest was history. Despite Marcus Mariota throwing an interception with his first pass of overtime and then returning it all the way to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, I
it's like literally at every juncture we tried our best to lose this game, and the Panthers would not let us lose this. Like
it would have been
it was a roller coaster of emotions. I couldn't tell you how many times I was watching with two Panthers fans that I talked shit and was like, yeah, you guys just need a tank for the pick. Then it flipped, and they're like, we ain't taking for nothing. You guys suck. You couldn't even beat a tanking team. Then it was like, oh, no, what I tell you guys. And after the fourth one of those, none of us were even talking shit anymore. The last, overtime, everyone's like, I don't even want to say anything until this game is over because I thought we already won 5 times.
It was sad. It was just 2 sad NFC South stinker teams again. The NFC South is bad again, but, bro, I can't believe y'all let P.J. Walker do that to y'all. That's fucking unbelievable. He's the 3rd-string quarterback for them.
Yeah. It was like watching Helen Keller fight her shower faucet.
What?
It was not a matchup for the ages.
Defense.
And she has no arms.
What is the defense that y'all were playing, though? If you would have lost that game, somebody had to get cut. You can't let him get behind you, bro. And it wasn't even they drew up a play to throw short to the sidelines. And then everyone was like, oh, it's going short to the sidelines. And DJ Moore's even looking back yeah, it's going short to the sidelines. And then he's just jogging. He's like, oh, shit, I'm past all the defenders. Throw it. And he catches it. I can't believe it. I didn't even watch it. I was in the kitchen, and I heard that they scored, and I was like, you got to be shitting me. And then when I saw it, I was like, yeah, this is even worse. Y'all deserve to lose, and I couldn't believe it.
I don't know why we're playing a middle linebacker as the deep safety on that play. I don't know who thought that was a great idea.
I think y'all are going to make the playoffs because Tom Brady, he's just a shell of a man. He stopped eating and he stopped caring about life. So, he's completely done. But, the Falcons, bro. Y'all are so fucking bad, but the Panthers are worse. I don't understand.
Man, what I say before the season started, dog? I said we're going to be the best, worst team in the NFL.
3 games, but then I forgot y'all had to play each other 6 times. And I was like, oh, yeah. Somebody's got to win those games.
But poor P.J. Walker, who got fucked once again, who makes the throw of the NFL season to have the moment of his career and win the game, and then he gets screwed over by a helmet and 2 fucking kicks.
That was nice, though. I got to commend him, bro, because he threw that shit, 65 yards in the air?
67, yeah.
Yeah, he launched that shit. For him to be a backup, I think he deserves to get more credit. I think he's a starting quarterback. He's pretty fucking good. I ain't gonna lie. He's not.
I think we know there's no reason that he was the 4th quarterback on the Panthers to start the season besides racism. There's no. Everyone in the world looked at them, or at least I did, and I was like, yeah, he's the best quarterback on that team. And I've said that for a hot minute before the season started. He was the 4th quarterback.
Yeah. For me, this is the big – honestly, I got a huge conundrum with fucking sports in general. It's just play the best fucking players. I hate it when they, are obligated to play this guy because he was a 1st, 2nd, or 3rd round pick. If this dude is better than him, play that motherfucker. It happens all the time. In every level, too. It's just even in fucking soccer when we grew up, this parent is donating way more money than this fucking other kid he has to play because his parent is a big deal. It's no, your kid sucks. This other motherfucker, he's better than him. Just play the better people. Your team.
If you don't do it, we're going to end up losing in the state cup to Fuquay Arena.
Mario. But yeah, look. I don't know. It's funny, man. But that football culture is definitely like that, though. They have to play the fucking 1st round picks. Or it's the GM's getting fired. You can't play P.J. Walker every game. We got Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, and Matt Corral, who drafted him in the 3rd round. No.
Meanwhile, we took Desmond Ridder in the 2nd round, and Marcus Mariota can't throw the ball past 10 yards in the air. And we're like, you know what?
I don't know.
We're biding his time. We're not going to throw him in the fire.
I don't know. I think Mariota's decent. I don't know how good Ritter is, but I think Mariota's decent for y'all. But whatever. Yeah, y'all aren't going to do shit. Good job for the season.
Well,
it's a waste. Just get
Terry. The last thing I wanted to talk about is how our teams now, without even knowing it, are now inextricably tied together in a way that I didn't even think about. The Bears, like the Falcons, are kind of ahead of schedule in their rebuild. You know, nobody thought that they'd be 3-5 right now and that they'd have some impressive wins under their belt. Justin Fields is starting to look good and had his best game of the season on Thursday Night Football. And then
Sunday.
Excuse me. Was it Sunday?
Yeah, we lost to the fucking commies on Thursday. That was a horrible game. You don't remember?
When did y'all beat Tom Brady? Oh, shit, that was a minute back.
Yeah, nah, it was, we played, shit, who the fuck did we play? God, I don't even remember, but they beat us like 49-29. They killed us.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like the Bears have seen enough because they traded Roquan Smith, your best player, to the Ravens last night.
Yeah.
And it strikes me that the Bears and Falcons are two similar teams on two different similar paths. Like, both of them now have like some of the largest cap hits in the NFL. Or excuse me, they're spending some of the least amount of money in the NFL on players who are actually playing for their team this season.
Yeah.
Now, both you and the Bears and the Falcons next season are poised to be the only two teams that are going to have $100 million in cap space. And the Bears and the Falcons both had the opportunity to draft Justin Fields. And we elected to take Kyle Pitts, a tight end who we're asking to block, as the cornerstone of our rebuild. For the next, 10 years, we're going to look back at this moment like Trae Young and Luka. Like, if both of them restock and both of them come back, and it's like we invested $100 million into a 7-9-ish team, and now we got a bunch of guys, they're going to expect the Bears to ball next season. They're going to expect the Falcons to ball next season and take the next step. And whether they do or they don't, a lot of it's going to come down to that decision between Pitts and Fields.
Yeah, I think so in a way. I don't necessarily think that the Pitts pick was bad. It's just like when you pick someone like that, though, you got to utilize them. I think last year you utilized them a lot, but this year for some reason you're not. And you changed offensive coordinators, though, right? If I'm not mistaken.
No, we changed from Matt Ryan to Marcus Mariota. That's what we changed.
Yeah. You just gotta and he got targeted the most he has all season and the most for any receiver in the game, in this past game. But he's got to do that every game. He's the best receiver. Drake London is good, but I think
Kyle Pitts is better.
Kyle Pitts is better, right? Yeah,
because Kyle Pitts, he could play inline tight end, slot receiver, motion him out, and he'll beat a corner on a fucking go route. There's so many different things that you can do with him, and he's developed into a really good blocker for his position this year, which nobody saw coming.
Yeah, honest to God, I think he can be an ex-receiver, to be honest with you. The motherfucker is good. He's just flat out good. He's fast, he's tall, he's strong. He can block, too, but you got to utilize him as a pass catcher. And they tried to this game. We're not going to say they didn't. They targeted him 9 times. He caught it 5, got a touchdown. I need some more. I need more touchdowns. Didn't he only score 1 touchdown last year, too, anyways?
Yeah, and it was in London.
Yeah. You got to utilize him more, man. You just have to, bro. I don't understand what the fuck's going on with him. So,
but the Falcons this season, optimism abounds in our rebuild. No one expects us to be good. Don't have a talented roster. Bunch of young guys, and we're out here fucking competing, winning the division at 4-4. And your Bears, what do you think about the Roquan Smith trade? Because you guys are on the upswing. You're doing things that are making people feel optimistic. You traded Robert Quinn and his salary off the books to the Eagles. Got a pick back from that. You trade Roquan Smith and his big cap hit to the Ravens, and you get back some picks from that. And now you guys have a treasure trove of picks, $100 million in cap space, and hopefully a franchise quarterback heading into next season. You like this trade, or do you want to? You're one of these guys that you don't let your best young players just leave.
It's the young thing for me. If your best player is 29, going into his 30s or something, or like older 30s. I get it. Give him a chance to win a Super Bowl or whatever. But Roquan Smith wasn't that fucking old, and he was by far your best fucking linebacker. It's not even a question. I don't know what they're doing. I get, getting picks because you think it's a rebuild, but you can't sacrifice the identity of what the Chicago Bears are supposed to be. You're supposed to be a good defensive team that, your offense is okay. But you can't flip-flop that shit. You can't make your offense good and then have a bad defense. We're giving up a lot of fucking rush yards this year.
Not with Soldier Field.
You're giving up a lot of rush yards, bro. So it's just like, I don't like the trade. Everybody loves fucking picks, man. But it's like, bro, the NFL is known for people having short careers. Like, these second and third and fourth round picks might be good, might be not. I don't like toss-ups for dudes that are good. I get his contract was big. It's a disconnect for me. I think it's always going to be a disconnect for the fans to give up someone good for possibilities of someone that might be good.
Yeah. And I think that's the easiest thing for a GM to do.
Yeah.
Is to sell you on the future, extend the timeline of my contract and the timeline of when I'll be judged on my success for this team. The easiest thing in the world to do is to do the Sam Presti and to blow your team up and to sell all your assets off for $1 billion first-round picks. Yeah. What's hard to do is pick the right players when you get those picks.
Yeah,
and that's ultimately how the GM, Brian Pace, will be judged. What he does with these picks from these trades. Because you can accumulate a whole lot of them and then turn them into nothing. You remember the Patriots had a whole bunch of picks and they took fucking 2 tight ends in the 3rd round in the same year and then also picked up 2 tight ends in free agency and gave them record deals? Like, all that picks don't mean shit till you hit on them, man.
Yeah, it's just been recently that Belichick has kind of been missing on picks. But it's like it can all look great if Justin Fields ends up being really good, because like that's the most important position. He can give up a lot of stupid shit, and these picks can end up being bad. But if Justin Fields is, transcendent.
But if you get, a guard, a tackle, and a receiver for Justin Fields with these picks, it's like, hey, Roquan Smith, thanks for everything you did. You know what I mean?
Maybe. But for me, like, if Justin Fields ends up being a top 10 quarterback next year, but the dudes you draft end up being, like, the worst, of their positions or, like, average, no one's even going to think about it because we're like, oh, Justin Fields is a beast. This GM knows what he's doing. That's all it takes. It's just a quarterback. Mm-hmm. If you hit on the QB, you can make up for a lot of mistakes. But, with that being said, you got to have some sort of team around him. It can't just be Aaron Rodgers by himself. You got to have a team around him. So be looking at these picks. Be looking at these motherfuckers. They better be good, too. I'm on your fucking head. Justin Fields looks decent. All right? Does he look better than Lawrence and Zach Wilson right now? Yeah, right now. There's still a lot of time for these guys' careers to keep going. So let's take it easy. I
like it. A modicum of sensibility. What a hot take, Terry. You don't see that these days. Let's end with this. What do you think of the Ravens now? And does Roquan Smith fix their problems in defense?
He helps. I don't know if he's fixing the shit, but he definitely helps. Their defense is more of the passing game for me. I don't necessarily think they had like a problem their run defense isn't good either. They just got a bad defense. Just putting one linebacker in isn't going to help your entire defense. I'm sorry. It's just not. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, it does if he's good at tackling people and they can't tackle.
He can tackle.
Like,
here's my thing, though. But
people are talking about this motherfucker like he's Curtis Lofton with the Falcons. Like, he's just a guy who makes a bunch of tackles 6 yards past the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? No, the fuck he's not. Like, he's good in pass coverage. He runs to the football. He makes things happen. He's way better than Patrick Queen. I'll tell you that much.
He is better than Queen.
The Bears is like, all right, you guys might be hesitant to pay a linebacker $20 million a season in the modern era. But the Ravens just came off having Ray Lewis. And that's not a position they're afraid to invest in if he's an elite guy. So,
yeah, but you still need people around you. Like Marlon Humphreys. Is he still playing?
Yeah.
Everyone in their DB section looks horrible. So it's like you can have Ray Lewis, but if you surround Ray Lewis with a bunch of fucking, I don't even like Jalen Ramsey's right now, he ain't gonna be doing shit. Like, it is what it is, bro. You got to have talent around it, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't take a look at the Falcons tape and decide to play him as a deep safety.
Look, what are you saying about Roquan Smith and tackling? He can tackle like a motherfucker. He's got some good pass coverage, but tackling great does not matter if the running back is already 4 yards up. Like, oh, good. 4 yards to carry, first down after 3. Ravens lose. Like, come on. I love Raekwon. I love him, but
this is what I was talking about, the Curtis Lofton talk, man. Hey, in the words of a wise man, we shall see. And I'll be keeping my eyes on the Ravens this season. I had them earmarked as one of the contenders in the AFC. I picked Lamar Jackson in both my fantasy leagues. I thought that he was going to win MVP. Who knows? This could be what it takes to get him back on track.
Back on track. You know he's still good, right?
Who?
Lamar Jackson. He's still really good.
Yeah, I know he's still really good, but he's no receivers. They might need to stop some people if you have no one to throw the ball to.
I don't know. It's just funny to me, man. It's like he's getting so much criticism because he's kind of breaking the mold. He doesn't have an agent and shit, and everybody's just like, we don't know about this season, Lamar Jackson. It's just like, the Ravens are still a really good fucking team, and he's still playing really well.
Anyone who's criticizing Lamar Jackson, I mean, we talked about this before. They have 5 different fucking running backs. Yeah. Each play, you have no idea who's going to get the ball. His number one receiver, Rashad Bateman, has played one good game all season, has been hurt the rest of the year. And their biggest weapon is Devin Duvernay, who's a punt guy.
Yeah, Deuce. Why can't they just pick a number one receiver? Why do they always have to get a bunch of 5'10" speed guys? Like Mark Jackson loves throwing it to Mark Andrews. You know why? Because he likes to throw the ball high. He overthrows almost everybody. Get a big, fast receiver. Could you not get in the Devontae Adams fucking talks? Deshaun Jackson, 35.
They got in the Deshaun Jackson talks. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
35, bro. He's fast, but he ain't got that Tyreek Hill speed. He's probably running a 4.40. Come on now. I need 4.1, 4. I need 4.2, 4.3, bro.
Ravens, Roquan Smith is great. I'm glad you guys are looking to add to the team. Maybe call the Jets and see what Elijah Moore is available for. I don't know. Maybe try to get a single person who can catch the football so Lamar Jackson can throw it to them, especially if Mark Andrews being hurt.
4 o'clock is the trade deadline, right?
Listen, man, you better call up Robert Saleh. Listen, man, you got this young guy. He doesn't want to play. He can play for us. We'll give you a pick.
Hey, while we're on it, and I know when we drop this, it'll probably be after the trade deadline, but Kareem Hunt?
Hey,
where's it going?
I think that he should go to Buffalo. If I were the Bills, I'd trade a pick for Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, I'd take that. I'd take that flyer. That'd be nice. Kareem Hunt is good, man. He's
a perfect cold weather Buffalo guy, moving forward all the time, hard to bring down in the snow.
He's a beast.
And now Josh Allen, you don't have to run it with him on every goal line or short yardage situation. Come on, dude. You're not handing off to Zamir White. Get the fuck out of here.
What's funny about Josh Allen, though, he's great. But let me tell you something about Buffalo in November, December, January. You remember that game when they played against the Patriots? It was fucking -3 in that blizzard and shit. I love everybody who's got him in fantasy, but watch him drop crazy. And Stephon Diggs. At the end of the season, we coming back, boys. The boys ain't be throwing it like that. They need Kareem Hunt. They need that run game. You need it, bro, because if you don't have that, you'll be losing a lot of stupid-ass games. Maybe they're sneaking in for, no home playoff games. They're like, nah, we want away games. We know how it is in Buffalo. January. My best player is the quarterback, but goddamn, it's 25 miles an hour winds. You can't throw the ball. So
yeah.
I'm anxious to see what
I think Buffalo's in a dangerous position because they haven't lost a game yet, so they're smelling themselves to a degree where it's they don't see the holes on their team properly because they haven't been exposed yet. And maybe if they had already lost 2 games, 2 of those close joints, whether it was to the Chiefs or somebody else, maybe at this point, instead of being hey, we're 7-0, what the fuck do we need to make a trade for? Everyone's picking us to go to the Super Bowl. They'd be you know what? This is our window. We got a quarterback on a rookie deal. We got number 1 receivers. Let's put our chips in the middle of the table and make sure we have a premier running back.
They need something. They're 6-1, and Josh Allen looks great at times, but sometimes he's a little shaky. They got a lot of talent, but the right team that's good, they can take their lunch. they can take their lunch because, like, the Packers showed you, they gave you a little bit of fight in the second half, and the Bills kind of folded a little bit, not going to lie. And the Packers ain't that good. I'm just saying. If some team that's actually good gives you some fight, I see some problems coming. That's all I see. I can only tell you what I see.
Hey, the Packers ain't that good. I'm pretty sure
not.
That's what Aaron Rodgers is saying right now on the Pat McAfee.
Wait, they were talking about getting a receiver, but I don't think they're going to get one. I like how they doubled down on trying to help Rodgers now when they could have kept Devontae Adams in the beginning of the season. But, who am I? I'm just a guy on the Habitual Line Steppers podcast. It's all good.
Yeah, they're not even going to make a trade. They're going to the head coach is just going to look at it and be like, deal with it, MVP.
That coach hates Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he's like, hey, you still the MVP, right? Right? No one else won it. Okay, let's see MVP. I don't know who's coaching the Packers right now. Is it Paul Silas?
I don't know his name. I just know
I'm just kidding. It's McFleur.
Yeah, I just don't. He didn't let Aaron Rodgers go for that fourth down, and I still hate him for it. I just think he's a bad coach for that shit. It's just like, let the dude cook. He was the MVP of the season. He's like, I don't trust him. I'm off.
Hey, I think he should have kicked it. And thank you guys for kicking it with us on this episode of Kicking It with the Habitual Line Steppers podcast. We'll be back on Friday with our thoughts of the NFL season, NBA trends, our early observations from the season. And we're getting a little closer to the World Cup, Terry, coming up on the horizon. A little over 3 weeks away. We're going to have some great World Cup content for you guys as well throughout the whole tournament.
Shout out to Qatar for ruining the World Cup experience. This shit blows. There's so many injuries, but, no big deal. Oh, also, I want to say one thing before we get out of here. Yeah, I know you're frustrated about that shit, too.
Shout out to Erling Haaland for just getting a 2-month vacation in the middle of the season when he's in the middle of the form of his career. And now they're like, hey, I know you're on the pace to have the greatest soccer season of all time in the Premier League. Why don't you take 2 months off and not play soccer?
He's going to go stupid, though. He's going to be so healthy, and everybody's going to become, like, sluggish. He's going to be fine.
Dude, yeah, right. He's going to come back looking like Luka.
Nah, it was funny because, like, after 10 games or something, he was on pace for, like, 60 goals or something stupid. I'm just like, God, 60. If he scores 60 goals in a season, yo, what the fuck? Like, get out of here. Anyways, I want to say one thing before we get out of here. This is irrelevant to everything we've talked about. But NC State football, I got one thing to tell you. Your culture's fucked. You'll never have a good team. You guys decided to leave a game that you won at halftime. The stadium was 50% full at halftime. And I understand it was 3-0. I get it. But
3-0? What?
3-0. But they ended up winning the game 22-21. And what I like about the coach, Dave Dorn, he called out the fans. He was like, this is why we suck. You all left. Like, we don't have a good culture. I might leave at the end of the season. I don't know. And he's going to get a big contract somewhere. He didn't tweet it, but he retweeted someone saying that. And it's just like, you guys aren't going to be good. You're mediocre. You're fucking fair weather fans. So goodbye to everybody.
That's what happens when you sign up to play football at an engineering school.
Yo, if I'm a recruit and if I go to that game specifically, it's like, all right, well, I'm not going here.
Bro, you saw when they played UNC what that motherfucker at UNC said?
No, what did he say? Oh yeah. No,
he was like, yeah, the only reason they're on NC State is because they couldn't get in here. He's like, everyone in North Carolina applies to UNC and NC State, and if you don't get into UNC, you go to NC State. That's how it works.
That's hilarious, bro. Yo, UNC, never mind. That's beside the point. I just wanted to get that off my chest. I like UNC. Luke May should be a Heisman candidate. That's it. College Football Corner. We out.
Hubert Davis, preseason #1. Let's go Heels.
Good shit. Hey, thanks for stepping across the line with us, North Carolina.
Wait a minute. One final aside. You saw the Sports Illustrated cover with the preseason #1 with Hubert Davis and everything?
Yeah,
the same cover as Dean Smith?
Yeah.
They had the same play up there, superimposed. I was like, God, I hope they're not running this season. It's like, this better not be Hubert Davis's play. I had to go back and check to see if it was a play. I was like, oh, thank God. It's Dean Smith's play for the corner. The only play that could guard Michael Jordan. That's the one that's on the corner of the four corners.
Yeah, that was 4 corners. No, that was just that shit. That was pre-Jordan. That wasn't a real play. He used to do that shit when there was no shot clock.
I know. They're just to run the shit out. That's fucking retarded.
I would have fucking ran on the court, took the ball, and fucking punted it. Like, this is football now. Get the fuck out of here. Anyways, that's it, man.
Hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. It's been another great episode. We'll catch you Friday.
Peace.
Man. Terry, 5 minutes after we recorded our podcast, Steve Nash was fired from the Brooklyn Nets. I swear, every single time we do a pod, as soon as we log off, something happens. But this time, we decided to hop back on it. So we back on the horse to break it all down with y'all. Terry, what are your thoughts? Do you think this happened while Kevin Durant was standing behind Steve Nash with a gun pressed into his ribs?
Like a puppet? Nah, man. I think it's deserved, bro. I think it really is deserved. And especially, like, their expectations are high, even though they know they have a horrible fucking defense and all that type of shit. But the structure of the offense didn't change. Like, they added Ben Simmons, yeah, but they're still running a bunch of ISO shit. They're still just doing, KD, you got it this time. Kyrie, you get it this time. Ben Simmons, let's see what you can do. Oh, no, Ben, give it back to KD or Kyrie. It's no structure. It's no, like, it's really not a lot of movement for me. Like, from the games that I've been watching, their defense is shit awful. And I get it. You don't really have, like, good defenders on the team per se, but they're giving up 120-something a game. Offense is okay. They're 2-5. They lost to the Pacers. Like, they're predicted to be one of the worst teams in the league.
They beat the Pacers.
No, but they've lost to them before. They lost to them last week, and then they beat them this week. So it's like, I don't know, bro. Like, I think it's deserved. If you think it's not deserved, say otherwise. But I just think he deserved to get fired. I don't think he's a good coach.
I think it's undeserved. What? Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving played 17 games together for the Brooklyn Nets. Then you traded James Harden, who is the second best player of that group, away for Ben Simmons, who's played 5 games with the team. And you expected Steve Nash to create a top blank offense with this group with 2 guys who can score and everyone else who they don't even have a facilitator on their roster besides Ben Simmons. He's the best facilitator and he can't play basketball. So you go give Steve Nash a roster whose identity has changed 3 times in the last year. 3 times his identity has changed.
That's fast.
And none of the star players have played together for over 10 games. 17 was the most they did with Harden, and they were looking good. And this is deserved? How is it deserved? Because Kyrie Irving doesn't want to play defense? Because Kevin Durant has the worst defensive rating in the entire NBA? Now it's deserved? Because they're hanging Steve Nash out to dry? Because he said before the season started, I'm not coming back unless you fire Steve Nash and the GM. And so now that I came back, I'm going to literally be the worst defensive player in basketball until you fire him? That's deserved? Steve Nash, listen, man, he deserved what – I'll tell you the thing he does deserve is that he thought he could handle it. He let this whole situation come into play and let Kyrie be a collaborator and let all this modern bullshit happen where we have 47 head coaches and no one really knows who's the head coach. He could have nipped it in the bud. He could have been like, no, this is my team. If I get fired, I'm going to get fired on my terms, not turn into a fucking Muppet doing something completely out of character and getting ejected, trying to save my job and save the locker room, and then getting a pink slip 5 days later.
Look, man, the defense is bad, but it's not just the defense. They're the 18th best offense in the league. Like, you can't be the 18th best offense in the league with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. You got to get a scheme going, dog. Something's got to be happening. Joe Harris too.
Did you see how many points they scored when Ben Simmons didn't play? Did you see the offense then, Terry?
They won the game. They beat the Pacers.
Yeah, then they got fired. They dropped 140 points, and you're out here talking about there's no offense. Yeah, they were playing 4-on-5.
It was 126 to like 115. They still almost gave up 120 points. They barely beat the Pacers.
That's defense. That's different. Are you talking about the offense or the defense? Which one did – no, you tell me. Which one did Steve Nash get fired for? Was it the offense or was it the defense?
If you got the worst defense in the league, you got to be top 10 offensively. 18 ain't cutting it, bro. It's not. I don't care if it was 5 games with Ben Simmons. You got to be able to handle the situation, too. Look at your boy who got fired from Boston. He handled those motherfuckers. He was like, hey, stop being bitches. And they were one of the best teams in the league. And the Celtics went to the finals. You got to be able to handle the situation, bro.
Yeah, that's my point. That's where Steve Nash fucked up. It's like he didn't have a tight enough hold of the reins, and he let Kyrie take too much power. He let Kevin Durant take too much power. He let Mike D'Antoni take too much power. He should have been like, hey, man, I'm the 2-time MVP. I'm the guy who just got a ring coaching with the Warriors. This is my show. We're going to do it my way.
Hypothetical question. What is Steve Nash doing with the Kobe Shaq Lakers? How many championships are they winning? If he's the head realm, he's not Phil Jackson. You can't handle egos. They, 2 championships?
Oh, I thought you meant if he was the point guard. I was like, Kobe Shaq. I was like, are you kidding me? Replace Derek Fisher with Steve Nash?
And that's the problem. You don't even see Steve Nash as a coach. You still see him as a player. Dude's not a good coach. Just say it straight out. If he's coaching Kobe Shaq Lakers, they might get 2 chips. He's not a good coach. He can't handle egos. If you can't handle egos, you can't be an NBA coach. Straight up.
He's going to be just fine. Steve Nash, wherever he goes the second time, I think. I mean, it depends the situation. I don't want to say wherever. If he gets hired as the Kings coach, I don't want to be out here like, oh, Steve Nash is still going to succeed no matter what.
But if Steve Nash goes to the Golden State Warriors, he'll be all right. If Steve Nash goes to fucking, that's it. That's it.
Hey,
no else.
Steve Nash goes to the Nuggets. They going to be all right? Steve Nash goes to the Sixers. They going to be all right?
No, they'll be bad. He's not a good coach. Look at these offensive schemes, dog. I can understand all off-court shit is crazy. But on the court, the product, horrible. It's not a good offense, though. It's the same shit that we thought it was going to be.
They literally, I think that they were top 3 offense in the NBA last season. They were top 1 offense when James Harden was there. And then you replace James Harden with Ben Simmons, and you're like, the offensive scheme sucks. No, you suck. They're playing 4-on-5, Terry. That's not scheme. That's talent. They got a guy.
It sucks.
No? All right. As soon as Ben Simmons sits down, they score 130 points. But it's Steve Nash's fault.
They scored 120 with him.
If they were scoring 120 points a game without him, then he wouldn't get fired for the offense sucking, Terry. They're not scoring 120 a night without him. With him. They're not.
With him? All right.
Steve Nash, he got a raw deal, but you know what? You did it to yourself when you let the grass get too high in the backyard. You didn't cut it down to see where the snakes were swirling at. You got the biggest snake in the NBA, Kevin Durant, slithering about your locker room. And then Kyrie Irving is busy.
Philosopher.
Yeah, he's busy fucking lacing yarmulkes, putting them in snake food to try to poison it. Like, come on, man. You had all this shit slithering in the background from the beginning, Steve Nash. He never had his hand on the wheel of this boat. And they looked at him like, oh, captain, my captain. They were looking at him. You ever see Master and Commander?
No.
Well, they got the first captain, and he's trying to be friends with all the guys on the ship and everything. He's trying to make everybody happy. And eventually they fucking mutiny this guy, and they kill him. And they take the boat. And the second captain or whatever, he's trying to tell the young boy, he's like, listen, man, these men on the ship, they don't want a buddy to hang out with. They don't want somebody to make them feel good. They want to be fucking led. They want a real man and a leader who they know they can depend on, who they can turn to when times are tough. And that's where Steve Nash fucked up.
There you go. So I think we agree on that, and that's why he does
it. Just like Master and Commander, ended in a mutiny.
Look, I just think in a world where you have some of the best players and you can't make it, I don't think you deserve to be another NBA coach. That's just me, bro. If you get one of the teams that are supposed to be, don't look at me like that. If you get a team that's supposed to be one of the greatest teams of all time and you don't even make it to the conference finals, you don't deserve to be an NBA coach, bro. You just don't. Like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. College, see ya. Go to Duke.
All right.
Go to fucking Santa Clara.
Terry, you go wake me up when Ben Simmons becomes a great player again. Until then,
wake me up when the Nets get back up to like a 4 seed, and then
who's coaching the team now?
Kenny Atkinson, bring him back. Yeah, I don't know what
hey, man, I told you, when we did our early season things, we're like, what do you have to bet? This all falls apart for Brooklyn like a train wreck, or they make it to the conference finals. I couldn't wait to say train wreck. Now they don't even know who their coach is going to be for the rest of the season. Don't know their offensive scheme. Don't know if Ben Simmons will rediscover how to play basketball after getting his powers stolen from him by Trae Young and the Monstars. It's going to be a long season in Brooklyn, man. But time to buckle up.
Yeah, and I think...
Can they trade some picks for Ime Udoka and then relieve his suspension? They're like, actually, we gave the Celtics a second-round pick for you, and you're unsuspended. Come on back. Wasn't in our facility.
At what point do we blow it up? When do we blow this up?
Do it. They should have been blown it up.
No, I'm saying when.
Been blown it up.
When?
Now.
No, like Christmas? If it's still bad Christmas. Like, currently as we stand today, they're 2-6, I believe.
Terry, the NFL trade deadline is in 3 hours. Not now, but right now. By the time the NFL deadline ends, blow it up.
By the NFL deadline, we trade these NBA players. Get them out of here. Let me see. Where are these boys at? All right, they're currently sitting 2-5, the number 12 seed. If they're not 5 seed by December, that means we gave them a whole November to get it corrected. I say blow it up. Get them out of here. KD and Kyrie gone, and I want to see it. If you send them somewhere, send them packing. I'm buying 2K. I'm not buying it unless they get traded. Ben Simmons too. He's got to go somewhere too. Wait,
I can't believe they're still on the team as it is. I mean, and then when Kevin Durant put out his press release, he said, I'm committed to rejoining the team for the foreseeable future as long as you fire Steve Nash within 10 games. Like,
well, I guess
in my 2K, in 2K22, not 23, I traded Kevin Durant to the Suns in June.
Hey, man, just now the pressure's on the players at this point. So we'll see how they handle this. I don't think they're going to handle it well. That's all we're saying. Man, I think it's over. I fucked up. I predicted the Nets to be a 4 seed. At this point, they're lucky to get into the playoffs. So good luck, boys. You know,
yeah, I said play in. I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, that's it for the boys, man. That's just Steve Nash is gone. R.I.P. to your coaching career.
Yeah.
That's just done.
Listen, man, we should have known it was over when Kyrie went to his house and said, "Can I see Kobe's rings? Or can I see Kobe's MVPs?"
Hey, I'm out of here, man.
Oh, my God. You know what's the only thing that could have protected Steve Nash that I just figured out? You know what he needs to do?
What? He
needs to come out with like an Ancestry.com and be like, I'm 61% Jewish.
Thank you for listening to our podcast this evening. Thank you. You're far too kind.